Klax was a game which management approached us, I don't know what, in late summer, and said we needed a product for the January show in England, and could we do a game in a few months? And so, you know, of course I said yes, and then we had to go figure out what we were going to do in 4 months. And at that time, Tetris had been popular. Ed had done a coin-op version of Tetris, and Tetris had just taken off. So this Klax was basically a following on the footsteps of trying to come up with a concept that played into this whole puzzle game thing that was happening at the time. I started drawing just on the paint system I had at work. I started drawing just little shapes of abstract pictures that looked like puzzle games, without any kind of restrictions on what they should do or anything. And after, I don't know what, a week or two of this.
Right, he'd hang it, the ones that he liked, he'd print out and hang up on his wall. So we had all these things that looked like games, a lot of simple primary shapes and a lot of very colorful things, and that was the inspiration.
And then eventually one day, I don't know why, but I came up with, well, I'm thinking about these shapes coming down, and you have to sort them and put them in piles and match colors, very much like Tetris. And I don't know, it kind of came from an idea too of, remember that Lucy show where she has to make pies and they have to hurry up, and so you had to do these operations to get this thing finished. And so it was kind of like that. And I described it to Dave. I said, I picture, I don't know, I think we just picked 5 columns for some reason. I pictured 5 different columns of stuff coming down, and then you'd have a paddle and you'd collect it, and then you could move this paddle back and forth and plop it in a pile. And then when you had 3 or more of a kind, it would go away. And you could do verticals and diagonals and horizontal lines. And
that's the game.
That was the game. And Dave went home on the weekend, I think on the Amiga, right?
Right.
And over the weekend he did a real crude looking just blocks and colored things. And I remember went back, there's only one Amiga here at the time, was in the video lab, and he loaded up in the video lab, and
we were able to play it. I got a prototype going on the weekend in Amiga Basic, and we played it and we refined it a bit. And then we had some 3D system that Mark used to generate the graphics of the tiles tumbling down, and so he generated a bunch of graphics, and then he went on vacation for about 3 weeks. And when he came back, I had got the game up and running on an escape hardware system, and people were lining up in the lab to play it. We were trying to minimize the hardware and have the least expensive hardware we could have. And the sound system at the time, we had an FM chip that did music, and we had a synthesizer chip that did digitized effects. And so we decided we could have just one of those chips to make an affordable system. So we went with the synthesizer chip. So we could have all kinds of digital sound effects, but no music. People would work out patterns on paper, elaborate chain reactions and sub-chain reactions, and then they would patiently play the game and arrange all the tiles in that pattern and make it happen. Mark wanted a golf type sound, you know, like the little like clapping and the sound of a golf crowd in there. So we kind of went around the halls and we got everybody we could, and we put them into the sound lab.
Yeah.
And
we had everybody clap like real quietly like golf, and then everybody go.
Oh.
And you can hear, you know, and basically those were the sounds.
That's it.
And then I did the scream, that scream, and then there was, I mean, everything was very simple and quick, and you know, there was not really, it was really.
We didn't pay for a lot of expensive voice talent.
No. Klax.
Click, clack, click, clack, click, clack was the original idea for the sound of the tiles coming down, so we just shortened it from that.
It was funny, when the game went to Japan, they were concerned at the time because the drug thing was just happening, and something called crack had just come out. And they were real confused when we sent them this game called Klax, because they were concerned that it was crack that we were saying. So that little interesting anecdote there, and marketing problem they had. And so we had to make sure, we definitely said, you know, winners don't do drugs or something in there for the Japanese market. It was.
Is this the same people that brought us Pokemon?
Yes, Pokemon. There's Klax, cracks.
And if that isn't a ringing endorsement, I have no idea what is. It is the 90s, and there is time for Klax. No music, because they couldn't afford both the music and sound chip for this one. Actually, they could afford it. They just didn't want to spend too much money.
Makes sense.
Klax wave. Klax wave.
Hint, the paddle can hold up to 5 tiles.
Folds up to 5 tiles. Interesting.
Very quite interesting, yes.
Klax wave.
Oh. Oh.
An odd version of Tetris.
Diagonal wave.
You must get 3 diagonals. And if you can get a 4 in a row, it counts as 2. That is very good information.
Yes, it is.
You must get 10,000 points. Ooh, a 5 in a row counts as 3 Klaxes. That's good to know. Now, some would say I'm probably pressing my luck here.
Yeah.
But I just had to do it.
Tile. Wave.
You must survive 40 tiles.
Tile. Wave. Yeah. Tile. Wave.
Okay, this one does not keep bookkeeping info very well, so gonna have to rely on the honor system.
Yeah.
15 Klaxes.
Guy.
I was almost there. For shame. For shame. Spent
There's no
$1.25.
shame.
Spent $1.25 and got 336,000 points.
Nice.
And ladies and gentlemen, that was Klax.
The Atari edition.
Well, it's the coin op. Atari made the game.
Well,
Before
I
we go,
remember
shut
the
up.
Midway Arcade Collection, so I'm saying this is the Atari version.
Before we go, check this out. Step into the 90s with the official Klax t-shirt. Send check or money order only for $11.95 US with return address. California residents include appropriate sales tax to an address which I figure does not exist anymore because Atari Games closed down.
Let's see. What is the address?
You'll see it on stream.
675 Milpitas, California.
No, I mean
Find
the
out.
web address.
I mean, feel free to look it up, but if it ain't Atari Games anymore, don't bug them. For the love of God, don't bug them. Milpitas, California, 95035. If it is them, let me know, because I want a t-shirt.
So is there like a phone number? Or they only give you a check, like an address?
Only a mail-in address. Just send them $12. Allow 4 to 6 weeks for delivery. Offer expires December 31st, 1990. Offer good in U.S. and Canada only. Sorry, Mexico. But yeah, step into the 90s.
Nah, I'm not finding anything. Disappoint.